may be faster than me. You may be stronger than me. You may be older than me. But I am Kavlov. I am the Leviathan, and you will stay still.
Greetings, mortals, and welcome to the final episode of the Tabletop Sandbox podcast, Season 1 of Canticle of the Crimson Wake. This is episode 18, and it is going to be a finale that we remember, hopefully. Hopefully, we don't have to just mentally block it out because of how traumatic it is to all of us emotionally.
You never know.
We're all nervous.
Maybe that'll happen, or maybe I'll fail. But that's my goal.
I don't remember the last 4 episodes. I'll be real with you.
I don't remember the last episode.
Last we left off, you are in Athanok Asylum. You killed one possessed hollow of a hooded man in the main lobby, where there were scenes of ancient destruction, carnage, and chaos. And after Sebastian cleared out, or made sure that it was clear, at least of the living, the East Wing, you headed directly onward into patient dorms and astralarium. Opening that door, Tony looked down a long hallway lined with doors and saw Mercy, Kavlov's enemy. Tony got shot, but landed a heck of a shot at Mercy, who was at the end of the hallway, posted up behind a toppled filing cabinet. Kavlov moved in and tried to find cover within a room off to one side. He also found company in another hooded one possessed by an insane ghost who has been haunting this asylum. And then the other 5 of them jumped out into the hallway.
Scooby-Doo style.
It makes it a little bit harder for Mercy to get a clean shot, but it's also 6 more people that you have to fight. Everybody else is kind of at the doorway. Tony's looking real rough, very stressed out, and
I'm fine.
All wounds except level 3.
I'm fine. I just realized I could have used armor at any of those points, but I didn't.
Yeah, I meant to remind you guys about that at the beginning of last session. You stand before a hallway of ghosts, hooded figures with glowing eyes and manic expressions. They seem ready to do violence. You have Crick and Sebastian and Crick's boys with you.
Boys.
What do you do?
All right, so I'm dealing with a hollowed thing.
A possessed hollow, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna...
Yeah, and you kind of went in and went to the first door on the right.
Yeah.
And
so
it's a small-ish like dorm room, just room for like a sink and a bed, basically. But yeah, there's a guy in here. It's close quarters.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to kick him back and take out big ol' hammer.
Okay.
Let's go.
And
Is this your fine heavy weapon?
Yes, my fine heavy weapon, which is 2 load. I'm going to engage in some skirmish with this guy. I do have the Ghost Fighter ability, giving me potency in combat versus the supernatural.
So it'll just be a risky position for standard effect.
Okay. 6.
Yeah, you crush this dude. Describe how you do it.
Let's go.
All right, so I imagine Kavlov, like, he runs in and he shoulders into the door to his right, and as he stands there, he looks ahead, and there's the like almost feral.
Yeah, he was like standing at the other side of the door, ready to pounce out, and so you kind of push him back as you enter.
Right, and so he's there. He probably tries to take another like swipe at Kavlov, and Kavlov just kicks him back, which sends him back with enough time for Kavlov to take out his hammer. And as this guy starts running forward, he just swings and flattens his head on the wall.
And you actually see as you land this strike, and just there's the sound of splitting skull and splurting brains. You see the ghost, the energy from the eyes actually gets thrown out of this body and through the wall by your ghost fighting abilities.
So
and you know that at this point it is too weak to like try another possession. Or
Okay.
that's how these ghosts are working.
Yeah.
And so it'll just be sucked away to whatever echo it is, its resting place.
Got it.
So you have defeated this one guy.
All right. We got company.
Yeah, I think right away, basically what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find some kind of cover, and then as one of the hollows walks past where I'm hiding, is to then use finesse to incapacitate him. Like,
Cut his head off.
yeah, like, but I don't, like, the rapier couldn't do that. Like, the little sword couldn't do that, but try to paralyze him with, like, hit him in the spine in the exact right point where he, like,
okay.
crumbles.
Sure. Yeah, and then so one of them, when they follow after you, you're going to try and just land a precise strike. So what action would you like to roll to duck out of sight?
Let's do prowl for that.
Cool.
6, and then finesse.
And so, yeah, I will say
Yeah.
you probably didn't follow Kavlov in because he was not subtle. You
Yeah.
used the distraction of Kavlov to slip off to the left. And then basically when one of them tries to go after Kavlov, you just step up behind
exactly,
and
yeah.
try to get him. So I'm going to give you, I think this, because I imagine giving you more dice is like giving you a better chance of success, and giving you extra effect means that you do more than normal. So I'm going to give you an extra die for this
Okay,
one.
yeah.
Yes.
Double six.
That's a crit.
Let's go.
You step out and you're able to just stab at the exact right place where you sever the spinal cord on this one. Like, Kavlov is turning around after crushing this one dude, and Kavlov, you see this one hollow kind of start to lunge at you and then just drop bonelessly to the floor as Yagoda, still covered in drying blood, pulls it back out of, like pulls her rapier back out of his neck as the ghost is still in there, but the body is paralyzed.
Okay.
And will probably die soonish.
Okay.
But then Yagoda, you see that, oh no, there are 4 more of these guys. And so you're like, I did it. And then you
mercy.
turn and you see another one rushing straight at you now that you've exposed yourself, but your reflexes just kick in. How do you dispatch this second one? This is the extra effect of the
And
crit.
it's rushing at me this time?
This one's rushing at you. How do you use this finesse to like deal with this rushing enemy?
So instead of doing what I did last time, which is just trying to stab it through the heart, I'm going to step aside and trip it, and then while it's down on the ground, then hit in the exact right spot in the neck again to paralyze it.
Okay.
Learn
Just a
from my
little trip and
mistakes.
stab?
Yep.
You have like just dialed in this precision.
Almost as if I'm dancing. Like
Yeah.
that level
Yeah.
of eloquence and grace. Yeah. As I'm
Yeah,
dancing with
you
this blade.
have, I mean, perhaps seen the error of your ways in trying to skirmish, when really where you thrive is in the graceful movements, the precise and graceful movements. Yeah, you drop this one and you're like, I did it. And then you turn, see another one, and then just naturally move out of the way, leaving just a foot in the way to trip this, and then just casually stab downward and finish off a second one. And you stab
Holy
into the spine,
shit.
but then also like they're bleeding from the artery in the neck, which means that they only have, a few seconds, if maybe a minute, to live before they're bled out and useless, and their ghosts will be forced away. However, there are still 3 more. Spark, Tony, maybe Crick, Sebastian, what are they doing?
Are you going to do your thing?
You go first. I'm reloading. Let's say.
Okay. If that's the case, if I were to send lightning their way, would I be able to hit more than one target? Is what I'm saying.
Possibly.
Yo.
Because I think that's what I'm gonna do. If I look at you and you're not gonna, like, you're reloading, we need to
So that or I
stall
was
for
getting ready a
time.
bomb.
I mean,
Grenade.
A grenade. Would
It's
that
up to
be
you.
easier than the lightning?
I mean, there are people in the hallway now,
Okay.
so that they'd be exposed to danger if you set off a grenade.
Yeah.
yeah.
Unless
We're
you were
gonna-
throwing it all the way to the end of the hallway.
That's my other idea. I want to take that bitch out. But
yeah,
do your
do-
thing.
and then you do what you
And then
do.
I'll do my thing. Clear up the hallway, and then I will
Yeah,
chuck
I
that
will
shit.
say that I'm going to give you extra effect by
No
using
mercy,
a
Tony.
beam weapon on people rushing down a hallway. So
Okay.
basically what it means is even if you fail, you'll get 1.
Okay.
If you roll a 6, you'll get all 3.
Oh, that was a 5.
A 5.
There you go.
So you are able to, you're sending it, not pulling it down from the sky, but sending it out, right?
Yeah, so...
Kind of like how you Palpatine the other Whisper.
Let's go.
A little bit.
But not as
except
strong.
it's different because it's not coming from her fingertips. So, like, usually you see her, like, reaching from the sky downwards because it was a single target, but as she's trying to spear a couple of them, she'll start from this side and she'll pull her hand back, and then you recognize that she's reaching for something that's not there. And when she finds it, she just swipes as hard as she can, almost like turning half of her body, like enough to do it, where it sends the bolt straight from nothing into like the back wall, hitting, I think, a couple
Two of them.
2 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see that this, I mean, lightning is effective against ghosts. And you see that 2 of these figures, as they're running, are struck. It hits the first one and then passes through him and into the second one. And they both just kind of, like clench up as they're struck by this lightning. And you see that the ghosts within them, like, evaporate, are dissolved by this lightning as you send it through them, and then just charred bodies fall to the ground. And there is only one more hollow who seems unfazed by all of his brothers falling, and is still charging toward your group.
Somebody want to take care of the last one? Clear the hall? Give me a clear shot?
You can tell Crick to do something.
Oh yeah.
Crick, last one.
Yes, sir.
Let's see
go,
how
Crick.
they do. They outnumber, so I'm gonna roll 2 for them. 5.
All right.
Go.
Crick kind of pushes him forward, and he like steadies himself, and he shoots the crossbow bolt, and it lands in the heart, and it like stumbles for a step, but then just keeps on running. And then he's like, oh no, but then he gets like pulled back by his brothers as one of the guys has just a mean-looking club that he takes this guy in the midsection with, drops him to the ground, and then Crick spins out his double-barrel sawed-off and just blows the thing's head off.
Let's go.
Crick.
But all that has given Mercy enough time to reload, and one of Crick's guys takes a shot and goes down.
Oh no.
And that'll be 1 wound for them. Or actually, they have armor, don't
This
they?
is armor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
his armor's gone.
you can. So what it'll do is it actually like pings off of Crick's shoulder plate and gets lodged in like the chest armor of the crossbow guy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, he's like, are you okay? Get him up. And they pull him off, and they kind of shake it out, and the bullet falls out. And then at that point, the rest of you guys are kind of ready to keep moving, and Mercy is at the end of the hallway.
I don't have much to risk, but I am going to steady myself for a moment, as much as I can.
Let me help. Let me assist.
Okay, you want to come? I'm still at the end of the hall. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm going to once again take in every angle, every piece of this room, I guess, put it together like little puzzle in my brain. I'm going to take one of my grenades, take off the pin, and chuck it as hard as I can, using all of that math to get the correct trajectory to land as close as I can in front of her, or at least somewhere where it will do damage, block her shot, whatever.
Okay.
So I'm just going to use study for that, if that's okay.
Okay, to find the right path to throw it. Yeah.
I was gonna
Dings
assist.
off the wall.
Do you want to assist?
It's off the
So how would you assist?
Yeah.
Is it just
You just tell me
flare?
how.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not just flare. You need to tell me a reasonable way that you would assist, but you don't have to roll an action for it.
Can I basically help her get a little bit closer? Because, like, I just found, like, a good hiding spot.
Because she got shot in the leg.
Yeah.
So what you do is you kind of take her up because Tony realizes that she needs to get a little bit further because she doesn't have the strength to throw it all the way where it needs to go.
My shoulder's still
And so
shot.
you're able to kind of take her up and you pull her forward, and then you kind of like push her off, Tony, and then you take your spot and you see Mercy kind of like reloading it and then popping her rifle back up because she's kind of like using the filing cabinet as cover.
Yeah.
Just as you throw this grenade. So go ahead and roll to see how effective you are.
Okay, guys.
Do you get any disadvantages from this? do to your harm?
Oh, I do have
Which harm
hate
do
to
you
bring
have?
it
Do you
up.
have anything with shoulder?
less effect for shoulder.
Do you have? Oh, you do have like a wounded shoulder.
But with
specifically?
Yagoda helping, would that even it out?
Yeah,
This is my
it would be
level
less
1
effect.
harm.
So this would be risky position for standard effect. Do you want to use your assist to give her 1 extra die or extra effect?
I feel like extra effect would be better.
Okay.
Extra effect. So this.
So this would be standard effect because it
6.
cancels out.
Let's go!
Let's
Go! That bitch! She's going down!
What do I mark? Do I mark 2 stress?
1.
Okay.
1 to assist. 2 to push yourself. And 6 with normal effect is 3 ticks, which completes Mercy's combat effectiveness clock.
Oh! We took her down.
You get to do what you want to do here. Do you want to kill her? I mean, grenades are hard to do non-lethally, but I will allow you to potentially
I want
do
her
that.
to just be hanging on so that she sees Kavlov as he goes up and probably crushes in her skull or something.
Okay. So
Kavlov
there's
needs to get the last word with her.
As Yagoda helps her sister down the hallway, Tony pushes her off, pulls the pin on this grenade, sees all the trigonometry, and throws it. And it bounces off of one wall, spins crazily, hits another wall, steadies out, hits the floor right in front of the filing cabinet, bounces up onto it, and just like spins toward the edge where Mercy is. And Mercy just like comes up with the gun and sees a grenade spinning on the cover in front of her and ducks just enough to keep her head from being blown off, but ends up just absolutely obliterated by the blast and shrapnel of this grenade. And in just a few short seconds, you have dealt with these hollows and with Mercy at
Good
the
job,
end,
team.
and you hear her just
I nod to you.
echoing at the end of the hallway.
Like what kind of injuries does she have actively?
You see that Mercy is, her one arm, the shoulder is broken, and it's in a sling. You see that her other shoulder, there is a bullet hole in it from where Tony, made that shot from down the end of the hallway. And then you also see one side of her body and all across her back is bleeding and charred and full of shrapnel, both from the grenade and from the filing cabinet sticking out of it, all the way like up one side of her face. And she's been mortally wounded, and unless she gets immediate medical attention, she will die soon.
Okay.
And she just kind of like is on her side, just bleeding and panting as you approach. She says, I should have been more thorough when I stabbed you.
Yeah, you probably should have.
Big guys like you, the organs aren't always in the same places.
You are a bitch. Kavlov is going to raise his hammer over his head.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings it down right next to her skull. Tony,
Yes,
could you make sure she doesn't die?
that I can do.
Sebastian,
Yeah, boss.
can you take her back?
Sure thing, if that's what you want.
It'd be a shame to let that talent go to waste.
She's in shock at this point, but Tony, do you tinker her up?
Yep.
All right. Let's this
in your
will
shoulder?
this will be a tinker action.
My physical action?
Yeah, physicer.
6.
All right.
Okay.
What was that, number 5?
So, yeah,
6s.
She is stabilized basically. Sebastian just kind of like, well, I have to carry a body home. And he's like, at least she looks light. And then we'll kind of, take the time to get her up on his shoulders and begin moving back down the hallway.
And Sebastian,
Yeah. Turns
There's-
around, accidentally bumps her shoe against the wall.
That's okay.
there's a surgeon in Crowsfoot. He goes by Sawtooth. He should be able to make sure she stays alive. And he will not be pleasant about it.
You got it, boss. And he keeps on trucking.
Bye, Sebastian. Thanks for all your help. You're amazing.
And then you kind of see that the door at the far end of the left side of the hallway where Mercy was set up, unlike all the other doors into dorm rooms, it is appears to be solid and maybe even reinforced wood, but it has a different feel than all of the dorm rooms. There's no window in it, and it is locked.
This is what I'm here for. What is it?
Yeah. Tinker.
Burglary tools. Burglary gear.
Yep.
Picking that lock.
Don't look at me like that.
What?
Oh,
Don't look at me
3.
Like what?
I don't pick the lock.
So Tony takes a knee on her good leg, or whatever's easiest on her legs.
I don't know if it's the same leg that I got shot in and punctured in or not, but I don't know if I have a good leg.
She figures it out.
I get there.
Begins working on the lock of this door, but she's having some trouble. Kavlov,
Oh no.
you feel yourself lifting into the air. Water dripping from your limbs. Your vision goes white. And you realize that your eyes are glowing in the same way that your tattoos are. And then you snap out of it and realize that your feet are firmly on the ground. And then you hear a voice, not Yelsina's voice, but a woman's, faint, calling out. And then Sparrow, the whisper, her voice, her chanting, raises in intensity, reaching out to that faint voice, drawing it closer, pulling Anastasia to her vessel. And again, you're kind of broken from this reverie, but this time by something, a voice that is very tangible, not a vision through or of Yelsina. Mercy, muffled through the door. Mercy.
Yeah? It's trying to...
This is gonna be controlled position. This isn't that risky, but it's controlled position
We could always just kill him.
for lesser and 0 effect, reduced twice. So you would have to either push yourself or find some way to give an advantage to attempt this roll, to convince that you're Mercy.
This is probably Mads, though, we think. Okay, I'm gonna pound on the door. I'm not gonna use my voice. Okay. I'm just gonna pound on the door like all's good. That's the vibe that I'm trying to get across.
Okay.
Let's just try. Let's just shot in the dark.
Yeah, again, it would be reduced to 0 effect unless you can find some way to give yourself an advantage. Devil's bargain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're gonna kill this guy already.
But he's like, we need to get the jump on him.
We need to get the jump on him. Okay, what can, like,
Which now could be the jump.
We could just open the door and hide and have him walk out and just pounce on him.
Okay, this is gonna be a little weird. You feel yourself surrounded by all this energy, and Spark, you can feel that through this door, this is the center of energy. This is like whatever the room on the other side of this is where the ritual is happening, and you can feel like the whoom, whoom, pulsing of the ritual. In this corridor, surrounded by magical energy, buffeted by it, you kind of reach out and you think that you might be able to change your voice by shaping this magical energy. And it's still a rough, it'd be very rudimentary. This is your first time attempting something like this, but I will give you one extra effect to give you lesser effect if you put a tick on a clock. I'm not sure exactly what I want to call this clock.
Those are the best kinds of
I know,
clocks.
I'm totally doing it.
You already have her.
We'll just call it alteration magic.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, that's so cool.
Interesting. Of course.
Sure.
I'm Yagoda has never messed
Or
around
actually,
with the
know
spirit
what?
world.
I'm going to change it from alteration magic to magically altered. That would be the clock that we're starting.
This is wonderful.
Cool.
So now we are at just less effect,
Yeah, so we're at lesser effect, but not 0.
not 0.
Yeah, 1 tick on a magically altered.
And then magically altered, you would start a 4
Because
clock.
of the weird magic in this vibe zone.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
basically like, I can feel something in the air here, and I'm going to see if I can do something with it. And right up your alleyway is impersonating, lying, pretending to be something you're not.
Yes, I love it.
Oh, there's
Okay.
one. There's a 6.
That was
It was a crit. I kid
was
you
a
not.
Nice.
Look at that. 6.
beautiful.
That's my second crit in
It's
a row.
Good night.
What
This
is
is my
going on with Yagoda?
fifth
She's
six.
going crazy.
In this night. I've
is
not
your
rolled
moment.
anything
She's
but a
defying
6.
our thoughts.
Yeah, she like killed 2 people, and she's like,
yeah, and you, well, what do you say in response to him calling out for mercy?
All's clear.
And Kavlov, you're kind of taken back to the time where you served with Mercy before she betrayed you and stabbed you with a knife that would have done the job if it was about an inch longer. And
Are you gonna stab me?
you hear the voice through the door say, "Was the big one with them? Kavlov
I took care of him.
dead? That's a shame. I'll deal with them after I'm finished in here. We are so close."
Take your time.
And he just doesn't respond to that.
Was the consequence to you picking the lock
I think the ticking
That's
Ritual.
Ritual.
ritual?
You can now try again. To
I can try
tinker
again?
if you'd like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would try that again, unless somebody wants to try something else.
Is there anything that happens because of my crit? Or is
That's
it just like
right.
fucking worked?
Extra.
it worked?
I will say that as you're kind of.
I go back to being a brunette.
I
No, you
think it's-
permanently become a ginger.
What happens is this, and only Kavlov really notices it, because he turns around kind of in shock. I mean, you guys hear Yagoda speak in a different voice, and that's a little weird. But Kavlov is the only one who knows Mercy, served with her, kind of knows her mannerisms. And you watch as Yagoda calls out, not just in her voice, but in exactly the way she would have spoken. And then just without even thinking about it, lifts and shoulders Mercy's rifle. You know, puts the strap over her shoulder. And the extra effect is that you kind of feel like you know how to handle a sniper rifle right now.
Oh my god. Oh shit, that's cool. Oh, that's so cool.
Whoa.
Whoa. And we all look at you, we're like, what?
And you didn't even realize you do it. You're
Yeah.
just like, oh, there's my rifle.
Does Yagoda know, like, that she just channeled? Like, this wasn't like what Kavlov just went through, where he, like, had an out-of-body experience and now it's back. It was like, she did this all consciously.
Yagoda?
Yeah.
Yagoda was like, oh shit, I need to sound like Mercy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of energy here. Maybe I can use it. And then you did something and it seemed to have worked. And you're feeling like, you feel a little different, but I don't think you notice what you've done. Like you have taken on an aspect of Mercy.
Okay.
Even though you look like yourself, you're holding yourself, you sound like, and you feel like you have a bit of the skill set of Mercy. But Yagoda just hasn't like processed this.
Yeah.
It'll be after the fact that you realize what happened. Tony, did you
I'm gonna roll to pick the
second
lock
tinker?
again. Yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm doing that right now.
You got this queen.
Yes.
Crit!
Yes. Correct. What is going on? Yes.
Stanchic sisters are going off.
No.
You're really good at picking locks.
I'm so good at picking locks.
and deep lock picker.
I think the extra effect is that you pick the lock, and as you quietly open the door, you've done it at a moment where nobody is paying attention. And so you have that split second to survey the scene and then act before anyone knows that you are like in.
So we see the ritual now.
You do.
Oh, shit.
You actually see that the astrolarium is this massive domed room. And actually, at this point, the roof is open, observatory style, to reveal the rain. And, oh, actually, even though it's raining outside, it's not raining in here. It's open and it's showing the night sky, but it is kind of a perfectly clear night sky full of stars. You look out and you see in the middle of this room, there is this like 20-foot wide circular pool, about 3 feet deep. Sparrow, the Whisper, with porcelain skin, beautiful face, raven hair that is being whipped by wind that isn't in this room, is only within that area of the ritual. This pool where there are candles burning, and then floating within the air above the pool is Yelsina, who is dressed in this gauzy white dress that is clinging to her body and whipped by the wind. You see that her arms and legs and chest are covered in tattoos that are glowing, and her eyes are glowing too. And you see that there is a wind whipping in there around her, and that there is the pulse of the ritual that is moving the water inside the pool like kind of like the cup on the dashboard in Jurassic Park. Like with each pulse of the ritual, there are ripples that then splash against this invisible barrier on the outside of the ritual. And you see that there is a man who you assume to be the body of Tobias Kenley. Yes.
I have my ghost mind. Can I tell that that's him?
Yeah. You can tell that there's oh shit energy coming from that. And actually,
just like a big red arrow, real bad.
I would have known if he came to the door, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were able to sense it. That person that spoke to you and this man right here is a vampire. Yeah, you can almost see Mads Conclave kind of laid over his face in translucence. And he just kind of stands outside the ritual with his hands clasped behind his back, kind of in a military at ease, as he watches the final moments of this ritual as it is drawing to its conclusion. Everybody gets to do one thing if you all do it at once.
Okay. Spark's knowledge of rituals is that even if one component was to be missed or like moved, that the ritual would kind of be thrown off balance, right?
Yeah. Wouldn't necessarily be aborted, but would be thrown off balance.
And there's because there's two things that I'm thinking, because she can also see like the barrier around them, right? Is it like a barrier that like will keep things out, or is it meant to keep things in? Kind of thing?
It's a dual. It would keep you out as well. You realize that you will, because you with your spirit mask are able to see this barrier, and you know that you will have to break through it. It won't be too terribly hard. I'll let you in metagaming wise. It's a 4 o'clock to bust through this. So you would need a total of 4 ticks, whether that be a crit or a 6 and a 3. You need 4 ticks for that to get through it.
How many people are in here?
Just Yelsina, Sparrow, and Mads.
And then us.
And you.
About to be us. We also still have Crick and
Crick and his guys are here.
Crick and the boys.
When you see that, she'll be like, keep him busy. And then I think she...
Protect Spark.
Okay.
I think she's going to run up and put a hand on the barrier and try to absorb the energy. It's like create like a spot enough for someone to pass through, like herself probably.
You know that this will probably work like a bubble.
Oh, like a bubble?
Once you're able to damage it enough to get through it all, it'll pop.
Okay.
Cool.
Then it's like then less like absorbing enough for like one spot.
And just pulling a tear.
Yeah, she's pulling a tear in it like how she normally is used to it, but it's just a stronger force.
Cool.
Yeah. So as she runs up, and you'll be rolling a tune for that?
Yes.
Okay.
You could do this.
As she is running up to do that, what's everybody else doing?
I think I'm like quietly rallying Crick and the boys.
You're going to lead them?
Yeah, I want you guys to spread out, not too far away from each other so that you'll be shooting each other, but use the crossbows. And if you are
They've got guns too.
Yeah, and guns. And if you can get a flank on him, do it.
You just want to volley?
Yeah. We're going to volley to start. Because I know it's not going to do much, but it might do something.
Is this like protective shield around the ritual, is this only against...
It's around the pool.
It's around the pool.
Yeah,
in the center of the room.
Is it only spiritual things cannot affect it, or physical things can go through it?
It would be both.
It would be both. Okay,
It'd be
good
both.
to know. Good to know.
Yeah, the water was
Yeah.
Yeah.
by it.
You're right.
And
I could try to damage it too, if we wanted to.
Would something physical be able to damage it? Or
Probably not. But she has special bullets.
I do. Would that work?
It would be lesser effect instead of zero effect.
I'll take a couple shots. I'll take one shot.
Sure.
I'm gonna crouch down and take aim at Mads.
Yeah, so we got a whole bunch of people
because
shoot
of the crit.
Yeah, because of the crit. Yeah, because that would have been on immediately.
Yeah, it would have been. This is like
got this.
we got the jump.
We're gonna
Well, it was
kill
because
those guys.
first you go to critting on
Yeah.
convincing Mads everything
That
was fine,
was
and then
everything.
Tony critting on
the lock
opening
pick.
the lock. Like
Yeah.
Sister mine.
Big stuff.
Huge.
The results of that are, yeah, this seems anticlimactic, but it is huge.
Yeah.
right
It is
now.
huge.
This is
It's about to
insanely
get
huge.
crazy anyway.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done amazing.
Who do you think should roll first? I kind of want Spark.
like the whole thing with Crick. Like they know what to do. It's their job. Like I
Yeah.
can tell
You
them.
can just tell them what to
they
do
need
and they'll do it. Yeah.
I want to help Spark.
Okay.
I want to.
They will be significantly less effective and less protected without
We also
you.
need you to stab Mads.
Yeah, but this is like first thing out of the gates.
Okay.
We need to stop the ritual.
Yeah,
It's
you're
true.
right. You're
The
right.
Crick and the boys will buy us some time.
You're right.
I have a proposition for you. With Kavlov's help, I would push myself and I would do another lightning bolt, but in a way to pierce the bubble for maybe potentially more effect. I'll even take a devil's bargain if you want me to.
You know what would be cooler than lightning? Fire. Oh. Yeah. I think. Would you like to turn your hand into a spiritual blowtorch and try and cut through this ritual?
I could do that.
Yeah.
Turn this
Yeah.
ritual into your uncle.
Too soon.
I think yeah. If you would allow me, when she reaches for it again, it's like she feels the lightning, but when it comes out, it's not lightning. It would be
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Azula's blue flame.
yeah.
But it's like lightning and fire combined. It's just pure, like it's electroplasm. It's like burning electroplasm.
Yeah.
Kavlov, what are you doing to assist to give her one extra die or extra effect?
One last time, I am going to reach out to Yelsina to see if I can get her to hang on for just a couple moments longer.
You reach out to her, and you do this, and you kind of throw your will against the ritual that's happening. Would you like to give her extra effect so that she could possibly do it on a 6 instead of a crit?
Yes,
All right.
and that's a stress.
And that's one stress, yeah.
Can I take a devil's bargain instead of the push myself? And my devil's bargain is that I will be spirit burned again.
A level 2 spirit burn.
Resistance to spirit burn too.
Yeah, and I have a
Because
resistance.
of my sick
Ooh,
vaccine.
that's right.
Because I am using fire. I am using
It is a
fire.
burn.
So
You haven't used
you want to
that.
mess with fire?
Oh,
yeah.
so it would be a level 2 spirit burn reduced to a level 1.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah,
man.
do you want to give yourself extra effect for greater effect? Or you already have one extra effect. What you could do is you could make it so that you beat the ritual on a 4 or 5, or you could give yourself an extra die to try and hit a 6.
4 or 5.
Okay.
Nice.
Smart.
Yep.
So we got this.
Yeah, so it's like super ultra mega effect. I mean, it's like one better than greater effect.
Yeah.
I mean, how many do you have for a tune?
I have 3.
So you have a good chance of finishing this because each die has a 50% chance of busting the. And keep in mind, this is not the ritual itself. This is the barrier.
Yeah.
Right, but this
But-
is step 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as we take out Sparrow, right?
Oh, that's a 6.
That's a 6.
That's a 6. Yes.
That is a 6.
Okay.
Can I pierce her and Sparrow? Can I pierce the bubble and Sparrow?
It
as
is
an
not a
extra
crit, so you don't get an extra
Damn it.
effect.
Yeah.
But I still
But
have
it was an
action.
extra.
So it's actually 3 crits.
So, you know.
So,
Actually, I win. Game over.
There are 6s on a whole bunch of dice over
right.
here. That means you win.
yeah, You kind of ignite this lightning torch of burning electroplasm, and you bring it to the barrier around this ritual, and you saw through it, and you feel that as soon as you get through like 1, 2, 3 layers of the barrier, both destroying the outside and inside, both physical and spiritual aspects of this barrier, it evaporates. And the wind and the energy of that ritual hits you and hits everybody in the room as it is basically unleashed. It's like popping a balloon full of magical energy in this room, and everybody is kind of rocked by that. And as that is happening, Crick and Yagoda are going to open fire on Mads. And is Tony, because Spark succeeded, are you also going to shoot at Mads?
I think I was going to run with them, and theoretically, if the barrier got down, go for Sparrow.
Okay.
And try to inject her with one of my syringes filled with like I think skullfire poison. Really fuck her up, because that's just like that's just like a
Put her in pain.
a bunch of pain, right? Like cannot focus, skulls on fire, right? I don't remember what any of these do. I could use
Skullfire basically gives you like unconquerable migraines.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah, okay.
So let's roll for Crick and Yagoda shooting. Yeah. I'm curious.
So I'm
because this is you impersonating somebody else.
Pretending to be somebody else.
When using a skill that is applicable to this kind of aspect that you've taken on, you get 2 pips for it.
Okay.
You get you get 2 pips for it, I'm going to say.
That's wonderful.
That's amazing.
So that like if you wanted to roll hunt, you would roll 2 dice.
That's
Because
awesome.
that makes sense for
Mercy
to have. Yeah.
Is this for the rest of the game? Like, this is Yagoda's character now, or is this just one time?
This will be temporary.
Okay.
This will wear off.
5. Very
and
nice.
Crick rolled a 3.
No.
Oh no.
I'm applying this to a progress clock, so a 3 isn't an utter failure. It's just only 1 tick. This is the Mads clock.
Okay.
So a total of 3 ticks on this 12 clock. Between you two just opening up in a volley.
He's a vampire.
So as the 3 of them rush up to the ritual and he sees that, he like just is shocked for a moment and then is hit from like a bunch, crossbow bullets just tear through him as there's just a volley unleashed upon him. And then as everybody is reloading, he turns around and there are chunks of his face missing. There is bullet holes all the way through him. And he just kind of like takes a second and rolls his shoulders and all of his wounds heal. And
that's so cool.
Not fair. I want to be
That's
a
so
vampire.
hot.
Slam my gun.
And
Kevlov's like, oh, like it's like the meme with the guy looking back.
and his eyes just lock onto Yagoda and says, "Now, how did you do that?" And then sees the people over at the ritual and realizes that is probably where he should be focusing his attention as the bubble pops. Tony moves forward, and what are you? You're trying to inject her with skullfire
trying to inject
poison?
her with skullfire poison.
As Tony moves, Kavlov, you kind of reach out and you are kind of attuned with Yelsina right now, and she just like floats in midair there in front of you. And as Tony lunges for Sparrow, you hear just, "No, Kavlov, you need to stop her. It has to finish.
I can't.
Kavlov, it's the only way.
Why?
We'll never be safe otherwise. Trust me."
I don't care about our safety. If it's not gonna be you, it's not worth it.
I never gave up. And I think now is when you have to make the decision whether or not you're going to try and intercept Tony. Do you stop Tony?
No.
All right.
Doesn't stop her.
Tony,
Okay.
What action are you using to try and apply this poison to Sparrow?
I guess prowl to get across quickly.
To get close enough
and get close
yeah.
enough to right in her neck or something.
Go for it.
It's not gonna work. It's gonna 3.
It
doesn't even work.
Girl, you're dead.
You throw yourself through the air, stepping up onto the edge of the pool and jumping towards Sparrow. But as you jump, the pulsing of the water causes the edges of the pool, now no longer reinforced by the barrier, to collapse. And your feet kind of go out from under you. And this whisper holds up a hand and a symbol appears in it. And you find yourself just slowed and then tossed backwards by magic. And you watch as Tony flies through the air.
Second time today.
And then all of a sudden, Mads is there, holding her shoulder, and slams her head first into the ground. And you are going to take a level 4 harm.
I'm gonna resist that shit. I told you I'd resist death, guys.
You need
Okay.
a 6.
If I take a trauma, I at
To
least
stay
don't die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll take a trauma and be out unless she rolls a 6.
Yeah. Okay.
So this would be prowess.
Okay. That's 2. Okay. 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 A 5.
No!
Oh, man.
A trauma.
That's okay.
Yeah. So Mad's grip slips off your shoulder
I'm
so
at
that
least not dead.
he doesn't throw you at full force headfirst into a stone floor, shattering you. You do still flip over and land face first, and take a level 3 harm. Smashed.
So straightforward, you know?
Yep. You're out of the score.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
Well, she got what she wanted.
but Sparrow, hasn't been able to put any more effort into there, but Mads is still up. Yagoda, what do you do?
I mean, terrible things are happening, but I'm still up, unlike last time. I'm waiting for a moment that Mads or the Whisper is distracted because she just pushed.
Yeah, she just
Yeah.
used magic and she's not focused. She's trying to get her focus back on the ritual.
All right, I'm firing at the Whisper.
Okay.
Yeah.
What skill would you like to use? Hunt with
The
with
same
2?
one, yeah.
Sure.
That was like, is this a trick question? 6.
That's
Nice.
Yagoda. Holy shit.
You just hurt Tony, bro.
What?
I said he just hurt Tony, so I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
pure
Like,
rage.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
But like,
But you're shooting the Whisper, right?
Yeah.
yeah, in the Whisper. In the past, you go to acts on pure instinct, and her instinct right now is to freak out. But she ignores her instinct and calms herself, and then just takes a deep breath, like because being a sniper is having complete control over your body and your
Yeah,
in your
you
sense,
feel really
yeah,
calm
yeah,
and
yeah.
collected. Like you have years of instinct that Mercy had trained.
Ooh, this is cool.
It's like in you
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
You
yeah.
have her aspect, like what she was like, at least in part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you crank this Whisper. She does have defenses.
I'm trying to stop the ritual. That's my purpose in firing at her.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you definitely distract her, and I'm gonna make her like combat effectiveness a 6 o'clock, and that 6 fills in 3 of it. So she is still alive and potentially able to continue, but she is not continuing right now. The only way to ensure that she doesn't restart is to kill her or do something else that would not allow her to continue. Kavlov, you have to kind of take a step back as the edges of this ritual pool collapse and the water just begins spilling out onto the ground. However, you all kind of notice this because it's very strange. The water level of the pool does not drop. Water keeps pouring out and spreading across the room, but the water in where the pool was is still knee height. And it's hard to see at first because there's the dark night sky overhead. But along with this water spreading out in a wave from a pool in the center is this kind of border of darkness that expands. And Spark, you're the only one who can really kind of see and tell what's happening, as this pool is more than just, it's not just a place of power. You realize now that it is a spirit well, a rift into another world. And having broken this in the middle of this ritual, that other world is spilling into this space. And in just the matter of seconds, everybody in this room is standing in knee-deep water, and the walls are gone. You are in an endless ocean, just standing 3 feet deep. Everybody here is in their same positions. You see Tony's body bob to the surface. Yelsina still hovers in the center of this ritual. The Whisper Sparrow is still clutching at her gunshot wound, and Crick's guys are all, reloading and trying to send another volley at Mads. But surrounding you is just open ocean under a pitch black sky, except for the whirling gyre of ghosts that circle the ritual, drawn to its power. And floating in the distance, but drawing nearer, these shimmering silver orbs that look like water suspended in a sphere that are moving toward you. And Spark, beneath you, underneath the invisible floor, you realize it's not like a ground. There's just more ocean. And you see a massive shape swim beneath. A shark that is probably 50 feet long, skin of charcoal blackness, and eyes of starlight. And Calum appears next to you, looking down at this shark, and says,
"Oh, shit."
Oh. We were so excited.
I don't know, whose turn is it to go?
I just took my shot.
I think it might be Kavlov's.
Yeah,
That's who I was
Kavlov.
talking to
Yeah.
when I just started this description.
Kavlov is going to turn and face Mads Kinclaith with his hammer in hand. And then he's going to say to Yelsina, "This is not a side of me that I ever wanted you to have to see." And Kavlov is going to pull out the Rage Essence vial,
Okay.
pop it open, and take a snort.
Yeah.
Take a little snort.
You-
Bolognese spray up.
As you say that to Yelsina, you feel just compassion wash over you, and then it is trampled under a tsunami of red as you inhale this Rage Essence vial. And Mads, kind of waiting in the water here, shifting, getting his balance, seems a little unsure by his current surroundings, as if this wasn't part of the plan.
You don't say.
Looks up at you and cracks his neck. All right, let's see what you got.
In terms of mechanics, I'm going to have to roll to resist Can't Tell Friend from Foe and Can't Stop until they're all broken.
Yes.
But it gives me a single dose which greatly enhances the user's strength, resistance to pain, and irrational aggression for the span of several minutes.
What have you've used this against somebody before, right?
The swordswoman, the Eruvian swordswoman.
Yeah, and I said it put you on like equal footing with her, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll only have lesser effect against Mads.
Okay.
Instead of 0 effect and then less than 0 effect.
I'm only going to resist Can't Tell Friend from Foe.
Okay.
For now.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of important. But that, I think you made that an insight resistance roll.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
So I'm rolling
I
at
must be pretty
disadvantage
smart.
for that.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
So 1. So I take 5 stress out of
Yes,
this.
you do.
Dang.
How much you got left on that track there, bud?
2 more. So 1 and then trauma.
Okay. Yeah.
It's so
you,
worth it.
You know who your friends are. but that doesn't matter right now. You see Mads in front of you.
And now I'm going to use the Battleborn ability, expend your special armor to either reduce harm from an attack or to push yourself during a fight.
Okay.
I'm going to push myself.
And it gives you specific effects of what that does, right?
No, that's just.
Do you have the thing that like puts you on equal footing with people?
Yes. So that's where I'm using both of these.
Okay.
So this Battleborn ability allows me to use my special armor to push myself instead of using stress to push myself.
Gotcha.
So I have to push myself to use the not to be trifled with.
Okay.
You push yourself to do one of the following. Perform a feat of physical force that verges on superhuman.
He's comboing! He's comboing!
Or engage a small gang on equal footing in close combat.
Okay. So what this complete expulsion of your skills does is that for a brief time, it puts you on equal footing with Mads Kinclaith.
Oh my god.
Oh
in
my god.
single combat.
Dude, this is so fucking poetic because the first ever combat, this was the fight against the European swordswoman.
And it was with
Yeah.
Crick and his boys
Yeah,
too.
it was.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh my god.
Dramatic symmetry!
I love it. And now it's in like this. I'm just imagining this like open like plain like ocean of
Yeah, so I don't know.
darkness. It's so
I'm imagining something kind of like the Renala fight from Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're all standing in a knee-deep ocean and it's just endless, but then you have like a tornado of ghosts
That's
glowing green,
so sick.
and then there are these like hovering orbs of silver water that are just moving on their
that
own.
is so sick.
And then there's the giant shark swimming underneath you.
We'll deal with that.
I like to picture at this point Kavlov is just beaming with the like spiritual energy throughout him. Like his hammer has like spiritual energy like drifting off of it as he's walking up because he's imbuing his weapons with that energy.
And because overlaid in this place, it's kind of like the vision of the ghost field. So you guys are all seeing what Sparks sees through her mask and with her, sensitivity. And so I think the rage essence is just like coming off the corners of your eyes. And you're like pushing yourself. You watch like Kavlov just and then his hammer, is activated with the spiritual energy as you wade forward to Mads Kinclaith. What do you do?
I charge this son of a bitch.
Alrighty.
Sorry, babe.
Sorry,
Last
babe.
time.
Oh, damn it. I should have said that. That would have been perfect.
I loved the one-liner against Mercy. You're a bitch.
Bitch.
Kavlov is excellent at one-liners. I imagine this is skirmish.
Yes. Yep, this is going to be skirmish.
Go ahead and roll.
So I'm rolling 3 dice for this. First skirmish roll against Mads Kinclaith. I'm scared. That's a 6.
Let's go.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Equal footing.
Yeah, no consequence. Which means that you rush Mads Kinclaith and he dodges your first blow. But you throw up an elbow and he catches the elbow. And then you drop your hammer and throw a haymaker, which hits him in the face. And then you pick up your hammer and throw it into his chest, running after it. And he is pushed back through the water as you retrieve your hammer. And in the first exchange, you have dealt 3 more on the Mads Claw.
He's
We're
halfway
halfway
there.
there.
I like
no,
to-
we're not. Never mind. That was the other one.
Crick is just standing watching like, my God. Look at that lad
it's
go.
very much that.
Oh, Cricket and his guy should probably go too.
Yeah.
And you see Mads, slides back into the water and then just stands up, and you see him wipe some blood from the corner of his mouth. Yeah, and if you would like Crick and the boys to go, now you can just tell me what you think they would do.
I think at this point, they're like, Crick is sort of directing them. I like to think Crick over time is taking cues as directing the guys as opposed to just them being a gang of guys that go in and slice people.
Yeah.
So he's probably calling the shots on like, this guy, he has the best angle, so he's shooting. And so, like, you lad, shoot.
Yeah. So are they focusing on Mads?
Yeah, they're gonna focus
For
on Mads.
sure.
I have an idea what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
That's a 4. I think that lets them do 1 tick. And actually, the first time I did it wrong, they failed, and I let them do 1 tick, but they wouldn't with how high above them Mads is.
Sure.
So I'm just going to include that tick right here as they do some damage to him.
I didn't technically do it where I'm commanding a cohort in combat.
Correct.
But, that's fine. I'm just gonna.
I'm just gonna say that we justify that 1 harm they already did to him, and they kind of have other things to worry about because one of the silver orbs floats over and is nearby to one of them, and they all let off another volley, and you see Mads take a few hits and then heals from it, and then one of them just kind of looks up at this silver orb and then just it's the crossbow guy. And then
Fucking crossbow guy.
and then touches it, and all at once it just climbs up his arm and completely covers him, and he is completely submerged in this shimmering silver water and apparently drowning.
no.
And so Crick and his guys
Looks over and is
Are
just
gonna
like,
they take a harm.
they are going to take 1 harm because they've already expended their armor. One of the guys goes to help them, and Crick is like, "No, don't touch it. That's what he did. Just stay away.
did they
Hopefully we'll get out of here soon."
Did they already take a harm? Is this their second one or is this their first
No,
one?
their first one got absorbed by armor,
Okay, you're
so
right,
this
you're
is their first
right.
actual harm.
He also the guy also took the bullet in his armor.
Mm-hmm.
Same guy.
Yeah, this dude has not been having a
Crossbow
great day. His name is Bricks.
Bricks.
Yeah, Crick and Bricks.
And that's the nickname they gave him.
Bricks.
As in dumbass.
Yeah,
Crick and Bricks. But they all named something ick.
I'm writing.
Spark is gonna jump at this whisper lady and try to put her head underneath the water.
Drown the.
So you just use
Yeah.
the spiritual blowtorch, and then everything happened around you, and you're just like, well, not everything needs to be complicated.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you see this wounded Whisper who is trying to stabilize her
Yeah.
book and trying to get going with this ritual again. Yeah.
That's gonna be skirmish.
Go ahead and roll skirmish.
Or would it be prowl because we're in water and it's like to get to her
To
quickly?
tackle
Yeah.
her and hold her under the water feels like skirmish.
Okay. Oh, that's a 2.
no.
Oh no.
The water is tough. You're like wading, you're like pulling your legs. And I mean, do you wear like pants or do you have like almost a skirt to match your
skirt.
habit?
Yeah.
So you're
that's
like
even
dragging
rougher.
a skirt
Yeah.
through this water. And you kind of climb up on a bit of the rubble that was the walls of the pool, and you go to jump, and you see her just kind of like open her hands in a symbol toward you, and a little kind of ember of flame appears there, and then as you're leaping at her, you feel a hand grab your arm and pull you out of the way as a gout of fire goes off where you were.
Your boyfriend.
As
Shut up.
as Calum, has pulled you out of the path of this gout of fire, and like she like didn't even notice he was here, but looks over, and he looks at you and says,
Don't use any magic. You don't want to draw attention to yourself.
and then he throws you, and you fly like 30 feet away and land with a splash in the water as he's like distancing you from this,
Damn it.
and then just like
son of a
lifts
bitch.
off and disappears into the night sky.
We're trying to scare this guy. So what if I could channel some part of Anastasia and try to get him either distracted or cause some kind of mental anguish inside of him, tapping into this intense spiritual, like, her spirit is here. Maybe I'm not, letting her possess me or something like that, but I'm using the same thing that I did with Mercy and trying to mimic something about her.
I'm going to ask for like a setup roll for that. You know, I'm going to have you roll a tune.
Okay.
Because
Ooh.
you
To set this up?
don't, it was different when you had Mercy's spirit and body right there, and
Yeah.
you had like her blood on your hands and her
Yeah.
rifle right there. That's very tangible. Anastasia is far less tangible.
I have like this special ability to push myself for subterfuge, and that's basically what I'm going for.
Not yet. It
Not
isn't.
yet. Okay.
This is the setup roll.
I'm rolling with disadvantage, by the way.
Okay.
I don't. So 3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of reach out and you're trying to figure out, this is just the setup. So this is in a controlled position for standard effect. But you're like, you basically figure out that you need something physical attaching you to whoever it is that you're trying to assume an aspect of. Like with Mercy, she was right there, her, you know, her blood, her life force, her rifle. And so without even realizing it, you drew upon that and used that to do what you did. Just a spirit, very hard to do. I think you lose it.
Yeah.
I think you try to do something else.
Try to take on.
You try to
someone
take
else
on a
and you
different
lose
aspect,
Mercy.
and then you lose the aspect of Mercy that you had. You try to do something else in it, and then it's just
I think it was worth
That
a
would
you
have
shot.
been
reached
really
out for
cool.
something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't regret this.
This is a player-facing game, and this is a very weird circumstance.
Yeah.
But I think Kavlov,
All right.
you're up.
Cool. So whereabouts are Kavlov and Mads right now in terms of where they're fighting?
You're a ways away from the ritual itself, and a ways away. Like that fight took you some distance away from everybody else.
Kavlov is going to yell out, "Crick, stop that fucking whisper."
Okay, commanding him to go after the whisper.
Yes. I can't let that ritual finish, you know? You just got flung 30
Yeah,
feet away.
let's. You're not commanding him. You're just telling him to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's what I want him to do.
I'm gonna roll
next
to
one.
see if he's successful in this. As you have like a moment of breathing from your combat, like there's just a slight lull. You shout this out before you go back to blows with Mads. That's a 4.
I saw that. I saw
Yeah, you
that.
saw that too.
That one was looking real likely.
Yeah, I think what happens is a couple of the guys, like they all like, Crick's like, leaving. The guy who got overtaken by this silver orb, and they all start wading toward the whisper, and they start like using guns that they were able to reload, and a few of them try to approach within melee. And there's a couple grazing shots, and they're gonna do 2 to the whisper. Oh, they have reduced effect because they're weakened after taking 1 harm. So that's only 1 pip.
Fuck.
And then she lets out another gout of fire and drops a couple more of them. So they take another harm, and now they have reduced effect and operate with reduced quality, which is minus 1d.
Okay. That felt more useful, though.
Indeed, they are. And then Kavlov, you're up against Mads. What do you do? Same deal?
Yeah. Yep.
And this is
It's-
taking everything you've got, and you're doing damage, but also it's like usually it's one and done.
Right.
And so fighting this hard for this long is taking it out of you without the rage essence.
Yeah. Kavlov is constantly the aggressor as well. So he's always attacking, trying to push Mads on his back foot.
Yeah. And it's worked up to this point.
To this point,
Let's see if we can keep it up.
6.
Nice.
Let's go.
Oh my god, 6.
Yeah, you are a force to be reckoned with, and you just keep pushing Mads back. Every time he tries to throw a bunch, you're there catching it with your hammer. Or throw a punch, you're there catching it with your hammer.
punches.
A bunch of punches. A bunch of bunches. Yeah, you're there meeting it with your hammer, and you just keep pressing. And he's fighting against you, and he's hitting you. But you're not feeling it because you are something more than human right now. And you are going to, I think, because you just loaded yourself up with shit, which put you on even footing.
Yep.
A man against man, and you're rolling really well. So that's another 3. So he has 3 ticks left.
Okay.
Dang. We cleaned up.
We cleaned up.
I don't know about that.
Stop the ritual.
And
Stop the
he says,
Ching, ching.
"Damn it, Sparrow! Get it together!" And he is going to just like keep backing up. And if you want to engage him, you have to keep chasing after him. And you realize that you're getting further and further away from the ritual.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Yagoda's probably gonna engage with her sword. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to rush up to the...
Yeah, the whisper.
So that's a ways away.
Yeah.
In order to get there in any sort of time, I would ask for an action roll.
Prowl.
Okay, go for it.
Can I also prowl back?
Yes.
Can I prowl back?
Prowl on back.
Let's go.
Yagoda! Stop it!
I got
Yes.
Okay. For extra effect, can I stab her in the back?
Do you have a knife? Are you going to check that off?
Yeah,
on your
I'm taking that off
equipment?
right now.
Got one now.
Absolutely.
Oh my god. And you got up too.
A 6,
Double
yeah.
team, double team.
Oh my
Double
God.
team, yeah, like, we can combo this.
And stop the ritual.
Yeah.
Wait, did you get through 2 6?
I got just 1 6. I'm not
Okay.
as good as you are.
Okay, I think immediately after getting flung back, she's gonna immediately stand up. She's gonna take off her cloak and take out a knife and rip some of her dress off so she can run faster. And then
Dude, the classic just like
Yeah.
leg
Yeah,
tear.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's so good.
So good.
and then you just see Spark book it with this knife, and then she makes a look at you, and then you, I guess it's like we're gonna hit her together kind of thing. And so she hears me kind of thing where like I'm doing prowl not to
I
be
think
stealthy.
she sees Yagoda
Oh,
Yeah.
does she?
and
Yep.
gets ready for Yagoda,
Okay.
and
From her
then you
other
have
side.
extra effect, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
okay.
you get there, and then you get the time to do something else without her realizing. I'll give you extra effect on this next roll, whatever it is.
I think I'm gonna try to go for the throat cutting to stop her from talking,
Okay.
and then you can go for
yeah.
yeah. That's a 6.
That's a 6.
Dang.
Yagoda, you're advancing with your sword out, and then Spark, you come up and you have her, right? You've got this knife, and you like bring it around to her throat, and you know that it'll be easy for you. She's dead, but you see Yelsina floating there, hair waving, tattoos glowing, eyes glowing. And those eyes find you, and you have a vision from the perspective of Yelsina. And it is of Mads Kinklaith, currently wearing Tobias Kenley, proudly showing off his collection of just-in-case vessels. That if his body is destroyed, there's no possible way that he will die. He has so many more resources, and this isn't the only like locker where there are prepared hollows who are like fed and kept healthy, and basically all they do is just work out and eat and exist all day in preparation for Mads to potentially invest them, to possess them. And this is shown to Yelsina basically to tell her this is hopeless. Do not try to escape me. Do not try to defeat me. You could never hope to win. And she shows that to you. And then she shows you something else. You find your eyes drawn to a specific set of runes that are on her sternum that don't match with all the rest of the runes, or are different. They're not supposed to be there. Most of these runes are to physically reinforce this body against extreme spiritual power. But these runes on her sternum, they are used to accept power, but not to allow it to possess her. Basically, you see that unbeknownst to Mads, Yelsina has got some tattoos that
No, we've been
Well-
fucking it up.
allow her to be possessed by Anastasia and gain Anastasia's power, but not lose control. Or at least that's what she hopes. And she sends this knowledge to you with the desperate hope that you'll allow this to continue so that she can have the power to deal with Mads once and for all.
That would scare the shit out of him. She has enough control.
But the thing is, he specifically said, we don't know, but there is a chance that she will resist. Oh, I don't know. I have my knife fucking pressed around her throat right now.
What would Spark do?
What would Spark do?
See, Spark has an agenda. She's going to slit throat.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's
Okay.
fucking go.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, you see that as you're approaching, you get there and you see that there's magic coming up in front of this whisper. But then all of a sudden, just from behind, a knife and a pair of hands appears.
A blade in the dark.
A blade in the dark. And you see Sparrow is slain. Her throat cut. And she falls, gasping, spluttering into the water, bleeding out her life's blood. You sense the anguish of Yelsina. The ritual has not stopped, hasn't moved forward, but Yelsina is still hovering, covered in glowing runes with her eyes lit up.
Caleb?
I will pick up the book.
Oh.
And I will try to stop the ritual. That's my next form of things that I'm going to do. But what are you going to do now?
Well, I was going to kill her, so then you just took care of that.
Can you trap her?
Ooh, the whisper?
Yelsa?
No.
Anastasia?
Anastasia.
Ooh.
The ritual to bring her here is already happening.
But Yelsina is she's an integral part of the ritual. And that would be cool if we could just bring her here, but I think if we bring her here, she will possess Yelsina.
Right.
But Yelsina could be protected against it.
And
But
she's close. You can feel, especially as you pick up this book, you can feel Anastasia in this tornado of ghosts. She's one of them.
But
she's waiting for that final pulse.
Spark, you can put your twist on it to help make sure that Yelsina's goal is pushed through.
I think Spark in that moment wants to stop the ritual. She's not going to call
Sure.
for Anastasia to come.
Yeah.
Because it's different. I think the vision that Yelsina showed Spark was Yelsina being alone, but she's not alone anymore. So she doesn't have to take this on. And so that's, I think, why she went through this, and now she's going to put an end to this. So she's going to parse through the book and see if she can understand enough to stop it.
So as you start to do that, that would probably be study.
Okay.
And this will be like a setup roll.
I only got one in study.
I will say that once you study, you will then have kind of an equal chance to stop or continue the ritual.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
So go ahead and roll this study.
Can I, because I'm there, can I help you out in this role?
Do you have any experience with the arcane or rituals? Because she specifically has a move or an ability around rituals.
Yeah.
Yagoda could definitely have had some experience with that.
I think maybe in the past few weeks of dealing with all these rituals that we've been doing, Yagoda has spent.
We did do a ritual to get Bryle.
Yeah.
Yeah. His blood.
Yeah,
on his sword
Yagoda
and
will
shit.
flash back and approach it from an academic sense and read up a little bit on it, just so she has enough knowledge to help guide along. Yes.
Sure. So it's
Yeah. It's-
after Spark did that ritual,
Yeah.
you were like, huh,
This
that
is
could be
something I have
useful.
no idea of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should at least know basic
Yeah.
ritual fundamentals. And so you did some reading. Yeah, I'm gonna have you do one study roll. I'm gonna have you take one stress for your flashback, and then do one study roll, and that will count for both you studying back then and you being able to help and set her up now.
It's okay, it's a 3. No, I have to
disadvantage,
disadvantage, disadvantage. 3.
I was so excited.
The 6.
It's okay, that was only to assist. I mean, hey, man.
Yeah.
You
so
win
you
some,
didn't
you lose
get
some.
to assist.
So you don't help, but your failure to study does not negatively impact her try, does not negatively impact Spark. The consequence, that's the question. in the lull of the ritual and the absence of the protective barrier, you at this point notice, Yagoda, that the tornado of ghosts that is circling this has descended and is closer, notably closer. Gretchen, what do you think Crick and his boys would be doing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, am I rolling steady yet or no?
Yeah, you can roll steady. A 2. You got no idea how this ritual works. You have some things that you could try, but you're really unsure about specifically how they'd go with this ritual. Basically, what you would be doing is freeform attuning, which you have experience in.
I have done.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll
it would
think
be
about it.
taking the energies of the ritual and trying to just force them to do what you want rather than using the structure of a ritual to accomplish goals. As these ghosts are drawing closer without direction and without the barrier, all of the most powerful ghosts in this like whirling gyre of spirits start to make plays on Yelsina's body. Like without direction and without protection, like there are a bunch of them here, including Anastasia, and enough of them are powerful enough that they're trying to possess her right now. And so you don't just have time to sit here and figure this out.
Okay.
Kavlov. Mads is faster than you.
Yeah.
And you have proven a worthy foe and dealt him some serious damage. And so he's kiting you. He's faster than you. And you're having to work as hard as you can just to keep up with him and occasionally take a swing, which he then has the time to avoid. And so you're struggling to keep up with him. The fight is still on, but no serious blows are being dealt. And he is kind of running away from you.
After the sequence of dancing back and forth with him, Kavlov is just getting angrier and angrier with this. Like, my hits aren't landing. And so I think there's a lull where the both are standing off with each other. And he looks at him and he's like,
You may be faster than me. You may be stronger than me. You may be older than me. But I am Kavlov. I am the Leviathan. And you will stay still. Can I take a devil's bargain?
You want some tentacles
I want
as friends, huh?
him to stay still.
So no matter what, check a tick on your Seduced by the Leviathan song, even in just the attempt.
Yeah.
What would you like to use, what action, to get this help?
I'm going to attune to this creature.
Okay, to this Leviathan
so
that saved you back when.
Yeah, and in this anger, in this fury, this rage essence still flowing through him. Like, Kavlov is an animal right now, and he's almost separating his spiritual self from his physical self, which is going rabid right now. And the spiritual part of him is almost in a calm and collected place as it's like letting go and calling out for help from this Leviathan that he once received help from before.
Okay, go ahead and roll a tune.
That's a 5.
It's a 5. Okay, a success with a consequence. You call out to this Leviathan, and there's this low, just otherworldly sound that you realize has been running under all of your encounters with this Leviathan. Every time you think of it, every time you're caught up by it, it's just low and in the background, and you start to think perhaps it's the Leviathan's call. This music that you've never really noticed until now. Like a whale song in our terms, but way weirder. And it's only kind of come to the forefront of your noticing just now. You switch your hammer to your left hand, and you feel the tentacles on your tattoo on the right writhe and then lash out. And tentacles kind of explode from your skin. And in this spiritual, magical realm, they reach out and they catch Maz Kinclaith and wrap him up. And he doesn't just accept defeat. In fact, he starts ripping your tentacles apart almost immediately with his hands and his teeth. But in that moment, you pull him across the water toward you and into reach so that you are able to once again apply your wrath effectively. I assume another skirmish roll?
I'm gonna skirmish this asshole. 4.
Ooh. 4.
Okay.
Okay.
This is good.
In desperation, you pull him and you feel the tentacles being ripped apart. It doesn't not hurt you. It's not your physical body, but you can feel your spirit kind of taking some damage, taking some wear that you'll need to recover from. But you bring him close enough, and then when you need them gone, the tentacles are detached from your arm and they're just wrapping him up. And then you swing your hammer down and he catches it on his arm and the arm breaks at the forearm. But then he hits you with another uppercut to the sternum, which means it's a level 3 harm and not fatal, right? Because you're raged up and because you have this metal plate.
Yeah,
baby.
Right? And so you take a level 3 harm as he just crashes into you. And you see him, and you've done 2 more ticks to him, which means that he is on his last leg. Any more damage to him would finish him. Do you resist the level 3 harm?
I actually have armor.
You do.
Wow.
So this will
spend
be
that armor.
number 4 and number 5 of my inventory slots.
Okay.
My scary weapon is only 1 load.
Do you still have room for it?
I still have room for it.
Nice.
So that's going to bump it down to a level 2 harm.
Level 2 harm, correct.
And I will eat that.
We'll call this concussed. Because it's not so much a crushing blow because it hit the metal. As you kind of pick yourself back up, fighting for breath, you see Mads there, one forearm broken and the fingers and hand of his other arm just mangled from punching straight metal. And you watch as he
Feel
just...
Tony wink at you.
He just... he just breathes... And then much, much slower than he's healed before, you see his forearm just agonizingly grind back into place and just click. And then he pulls each of his fingers into place once more and then just kind of moves them as you're both just beat to shit after this. You landing so many good hits on him and him just landing 1. But he's still standing there and he looks at you and he says, "You are not destined to have what you seek, Kavlov, because you are not worthy of it. Anastasia, she was taken from me, but you abandoned your wife. You have impressed me with your tenacity. And one day, maybe a few decades from now, you can be half the man I am now. Setbacks are never easy." And as you're kind of attuned to this, you kind of sense the body in front of you start to fall forward as the spirit begins to disconnect from it.
Stab him.
What do you do?
Is there any way anyone can assist me on this?
You're so far away.
Yeah.
I am far away.
I got you. Huh?
Long range could be. I mean, what
I got
does
Crick and his crew.
What does Crick want to do?
Crick. What can we do?
Crick.
Crick.
Take Bill with it.
Build a boat.
Build a boat and sail over
And he
there.
sails over.
Build a boat and sail over to save their souls.
Can we cash in on our because
Gondola.
because we just leveled up. Can we cash in on our gondola?
You cannot spawn a vehicle here.
And at this point, it's just him and one guy.
Viking boat.
Oh, sorry, we didn't mention we had to carry in the boat the entire time. That's why I've been rolling so badly. Half my guys are carrying the boat.
Can one of them just try to take a shot at Mads? Can they just try to shoot him?
They can try to take a shot. They're so far away, it's going to be a disadvantage,
That's
though.
fine. It's an attempt.
It's
As long
gonna
as
be
it doesn't
0
hit
dice.
Kavlov.
Aren't they already yet?
Yeah, they're
Well,
already
he's
kinda
just
fucked up.
so good. They outnumber him, but he's so good that they're at limited effect.
Limited
and so if
effect.
they fail, they don't get anything.
Fair enough.
So lower of the two. That's a 3.
Fuck.
Damn.
So a couple of them drop shots toward him, but you're so far away that there's just geysers of water that spew up around you from
It looks
the
cool,
bullets. It does look cool, and Kavlov doesn't flinch at the gunfire nearby.
Sorry,
But
mate.
what does Kavlov do?
That's a wrong accent.
So I need to make this hit because I'm at -1d from being concussed.
Okay.
Does that
I will
happen if
offer
it's-
you a devil's bargain to give you that extra die back. This is a risky position, but you'll be taking a desperate consequence, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like you normally in a risky position be taking a level 2 consequence, but instead you'll take a level 3 consequence if you roll anything lower than a 6.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
Alrighty.
All right. So Kavlov is going to pull out this sword. That's just beaming with spiritual energy now. And he's going to say, I said stay. And then he's going to try to stab him.
You rush with this new blade. What action would you like to use?
Skirmish.
Okay.
Oh, 6!
Oh, man. Yeah, you see that Mads' body starts to go limp. As it heads forward, his eyes kind of go low-lidded. And then you attack. And immediately, you see his eyes snap open. It was a ruse. But you're not swinging with a hammer. And so he reaches up to catch the weapon, and the blade of the sword goes right through his hand and completely through his chest, pinning one hand to his chest. And he just kind of like looks up in surprise as he was expecting to catch the haft of a swinging hammer.
Yeah.
But instead, this nasty looking sword has basically torn open his hand and, slipped into him, and then you give it a little twist at the end to make sure those barbs stick. And he kind of stumbles backwards from you and says, "No, what have you?" And then you see him try like push against the sword. He has the physical strength that he should be able to rip it out of him despite the damage that it would do. But the spiritual and ritual aspects of this sword
Thanks, Bryle.
activate, and he realizes that he cannot budge it. And because that does the last of his ticks
Let's
on his
go.
clock, he doesn't have the strength to fight back. And you watch as he just kind of confusedly tries to leave the body, but can't. You see, like, his spectral head pulls away from his physical head, but is drawn back to it, connected by this blade in his chest. And he falls to his knees in the water before you. What do you do?
You took my wife, you son of a bitch. First hammer strike straight down onto like his kneecap.
Yeah, he
torture
you
guy.
like explode the bottom half of one of his legs, and he just kind of doesn't even really react to the pain, but just kind of looks up at you and says, "No, this is impossible. What have you done?"
Took my life, you son of a bitch. Other kneecap slam.
This physical form, I am not constrained by it. I am more than a body.
You are Mads Kinclaith, and you will be my bitch for eternity.
Release me at once, you fool.
The hammer's going like straight down onto his face. Just
Yeah.
He's going nowhere.
You obliterate him.
Yeah.
Like his body does not have the energy to heal himself any further, and his spirit is contained to here's the thing. When you have a vampire like this, you've completely beaten them down. If you do arcane harm to them, it can destroy them. Your hammer is invested with spiritual energy. If you bring it down on his face, he will die.
Did we scare him?
Is he scared?
What action would you like to use to sense whether you've accomplished that goal?
Attune. Do I feel the satisfaction of Spark's boyfriend?
He's got a name.
I forgot his name.
Caleb.
There it is.
Katoom. Go ahead and roll attune.
Katoom.
4.
You, having used the ghost field and this attunement to shed so much emotion over these past months through your rituals with Salia, you reach out and not only do you feel kind of the ecstasy of Caleb as he smiles approvingly, even though you can't really see him, you sense that. You feel the fear of Mads Kinclaith itself. Do you finish him?
Yep.
You bring your hammer down and kill a vampire.
Let's fucking go.
It happened, guys.
And then
We
you
still have your
sense
wife to contend with.
the satisfaction of something like Caleb,
Oh no, the shark.
but bigger,
Oh no.
older. And you two are working at the ritual. And you
There
hear
were other things.
Crick and his guys yelling.
Oh.
And you look over in time to see the dark shape moving under the water and then just erupt. And its mouth closes over Kavlov.
Yes! Bye, guys.
What do you do?
What the fuck?
The reason why this all started was because we popped a bubble. If we create that bubble again, would there be any way to kind of control the craziness that is going on, or is it already too late?
Ending the ritual one way or another will be able to end this because it is the power of the ritual funneled through the spirit well that is kind of allowing this realm. It's not the ghost field, it's somewhere else.
Yeah.
To spill over into the real world. If you kind of end that power, put a bow on this ritual, bring it to completion, you think that the only place you'd have to worry about all this danger is standing in the pool itself. And it would kind of recede back into it.
Okay.
It's the energy of the ritual that is kind of overflowing.
If I were to create an exceptionally volatile reaction and ruin the delicacy of a ritual, that would probably end it, right?
Yeah, could also probably be extremely damaging to those in proximity and especially those who are a part of the ritual. Safest way to do this is to put a ghost in Yelsina. Because you're pretty sure that'll bring the ritual to a close.
No, I'm so sorry, Pavlov. We have the jester.
No! Don't you fucking dare put the jester in my wife! Don't you dare put the jester in my wife!
We'll take out the spirit bottle.
I love you. That's amazing.
And I will.
You know what? She can handle him.
Yeah. This is the best thing to go.
I will.
I forgot about him.
I will take out the spirit bottle.
I just pop it.
We're right next to her. We are right next to her. So
Yeah.
all the ghosts that are trying to make claim to this body, we're still closest to her.
Yeah.
So Spark will run up, take the spirit bottle, unleash it enough to where when the spirit immediately comes out, it comes into contact with Yelsina's body. Yelsina's body is already a beacon for a ghost to come and possess her. And so I
He's
imagine,
horny, right?
I imagine it's less of a choice and more of like a, oh, you're going into this body now kind of thing.
Yeah. What action would you like to use to make sure this goes off without a hitch?
No better way to do this.
A tune.
All right. As you try to just like use your natural, affinity for the ghost field and these arcane energies to put this jester ghost in Yelsina, go ahead and roll.
That's a 6! That's a 6, baby.
I can't believe it.
That's so wild. And it works.
No.
You unleash this ghost.
This is the best way it could have gone. Let's be honest.
And you watch as he goes, and then it's just immediately sucked into Yelsina, and then Yelsina's eyes and tattoos are glowing, and this ghost kind of goes, she like almost like inhales this ghost, and then just kind of tenses and steps down, like descends from the air and then lands in the center of this pool and kind of looks at you and then looks over at where Kavlov was. And you realize that like the ritual is still kind of spun up a little bit, because basically you have put 1 gallon in a 5-gallon jug with this ghost and Yelsina, and she just looks around.
Yeah, that's what I was reference to his height.
I mean, he's small, but he's also not a very powerful
That's
ghost.
fair.
And she was souped up for a powerful ghost.
Yeah.
And she looks up at this swirling cloud of ghosts that are still kind of drawing ever closer. And then she lets out a thunderous scream using the ability of this newly absorbed ghost to create this energy that scatters the ghosts, and in that moment chooses to end the ritual herself in kind of with your assistance through this, because kind of all the boxes have been checked. And then she kind of expels all these ghosts, or at least drives them away using the power of this ghost. And you see the walls and the energy and the water kind of pulls back, and the walls of the pool reassemble, and you all kind of stumble out of it back into the astralarium, no longer in this realm. And you look around, everyone dripping, Tony on the floor, Crick and most of his guys here. The crossbow guy didn't seem to come back, but no Kavlov. Yelsina, whose tattoos and eyes are glowing, but it is dulling. She kind of looks over at you, Spark, and says, "That was unexpectedly clever. Where is my husband?"
I will do the silent whistle again. Just like not even pointing to the sky anymore.
Yes, I'm here.
And you see kind of Yelsina take a step back as Calum kind of descends from this night sky above and lands next to you.
I assume you know exactly what that thing is. Where is Kavlov?
That thing was Pelagius. For lack of a better word, Pelagius is my father. I am not sure where Kavlov is. My father has taken an interest in him. However, it seems something else has also had its eye on him. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Kavlov will be okay. He's been pulled in for a meeting.
I have a connection to you, and I felt your joy. That only means one thing, that Kavlov did what you asked.
That he did. I honestly didn't expect him to. I didn't expect you all to survive.
And he kind of goes over and just lifts Tony's hand with his toe and just flops over.
I'm fine.
Well, most of you.
I'm fine.
Yeah, you do have level 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could still be conscious technically.
Just needs help.
Just on the ground, you're
I'm not
sputtering, coughing up water because you've
I'm
been
not
face
fine,
down in it
yeah.
this whole time.
But I'm fine. It's all good. We made it.
Well, you know what? That at least he'll be alive.
I'm not sure if this will make sense to you. To them, he's a pretty butterfly. Interesting, but inconsequential. He could be fine, or he could be crushed without a thought. It's out of my hands.
We've done what you asked. We've done it all without asking anything more. But if I vow that we will continue this bond past these 7 days, could you? Then she doesn't say the rest of the words, but he feels the intent.
I think you just get kind of a raised eyebrow that is the question, and what exactly do you think this bond is?
I have proven to you that I could be your tool, and I will continue being such.
An instrument of fear. That's something I could bend your old dad's ear for. No promises.
And then he ascends.
I'll turn to Yelsena.
What was that about?
Well, we came here to find you. Kavlov.
Yes.
I hope he'll be fine. He's strong. And if he's alive, he'll definitely find his way back to you.
It would be ludicrous for him to have come so far, defeated Mads, only to be eaten by a giant shark and never seen again. I am confident we'll see him again. It would be too cruel of a joke for fate to play, and honestly, not that funny.
Let's get you out of here.
All right. You kind of begin to make your way out and realize that there's still the reeking tar in the front yard.
Oh, fuck that shit.
What do we do, guys? Yagoda. Mm-hmm. There are some ghosts still left here. And I think what it's looking for is for energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to toss one of these things...
A spirit bottle?
A spirit bottle?
If a spirit bottle doesn't have a ghost in it,
I know,
has no
with the
energy.
ghost in.
Yeah.
It would follow it.
Oh, we could get a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
We are
Do you not
right.
have any more electroplasm or anything like that?
No, I tossed it, remember?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I theoretically would.
I have my
like
spirit
an
chain-
electro
spirit
volt battery,
beam
some
charm.
shit.
Yeah, check it. See if you have the equipment. Because you still have equipment.
I do still have equipment.
Are we looting Tony's unconscious body at the
Yeah.
moment?
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you
Facts.
can have it. it's
For
fine.
Quicksilver, right? Yeah.
Quicksilver, could that work?
No, that just enhances.
Electroplasmic battery
Yeah, that'll do it.
in my fine wrecking tools. 1,
Fetch.
2, 3, 4,
Fetch, Stinky.
5, 6. Yep. It's there.
I imagine Sparks making a plan to run into the rooms and grab a spirit, and she's just like, wait. Of all the times I spent with Tony, she was talking about weird shit that she carries, and she's ruffling through, and she feels it. She feels it, and she's like, this. And she pulls out this really weird looking metal can that doesn't even look like a battery.
Nope.
But
No.
she shakes
It's
it.
something I made for sure.
She shakes it, and it's like,
And it sparks.
yeah, and it sparks, and she's like, okay. She'll toss it up, and then she'll look at because it's a straight shot run, right?
Yeah. From the front door out the main gate.
She'll toss it as hard as she can
to
like one side.
To one side.
Yeah.
To distract it.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
We established that it works before, so
Yeah.
you give this guy a treat and he'll go eat it.
It's so cute.
Turn this like
our boy.
otherworldly horror into a dog.
It is such a like an
Here's thinking.
horrible otherworldly horror that if anyone had actually died in, it would be so scary.
Yeah.
But it's just like, go get it, and then everybody run. And
That's our good boy.
you are able to
across.
make it across, and then take your time going through the Lost District and crossing back through the gate. Our final scene of season 1 is some of our scoundrels on a boat headed back across.
You mean on a boat?
On a boat. Several scoundrels on a boat headed back across the Dusk River. And Crick and his guys are in one boat trailing behind, and the sisters Stanchik, Yelsina, and Spark are on...
Ladies.
The ladies are on the other boat, piloted by Chime.
Oh, yeah. She's so
And
cool.
you've gotten enough help that you're like able to be conscious
What's
and
up?
be a part of the conversation.
What's up,
Tony.
my homies?
Don't speak.
I got so much to say.
Yeah, where's everybody's heads at?
I think Yagoda's trying to comfort Yelsina in this, moment of emotional instability.
I'm trying to like patch myself up.
Yeah,
maybe.
go ahead and roll a fortune roll with study, or actually
Consort? I was
a fortune roll with sway.
with sway. Oh, yeah. Or 4.
4. Okay. I think that you being there for her, it's kind of enough for you to catch one moment where the strong facade that she has up cracks just a little bit, and she turns it into a cough and spits into the water and wipes her nose and one of her eyes in the process. You don't get much. She doesn't know you, but in a strange reversal of the Yagoda we've known, the moment of kindness and true empathy breaks through the facade that she has up, and you can tell that she's got a lot going on. And maybe if she knew you better, she would be in tears, but she's holding it together for right now.
I'm going to say something along the lines of, your husband Kavlov has helped me, all of us, a great deal in these past few months. I mean, I couldn't do half the things I did tonight without his guidance. He's a good man is what I'm trying to say, and I firmly believe he'll be back soon enough. He always is. His one goal in life was to find you, and he did that, and now you can be together.
She just kind of nods, because to say anything would be to open the gates.
I think Spark's looking up to the sky, and she almost hasn't blinked, and she hasn't moved, and she's just waiting for Caleb. But when she hears you talk to Yelsina, and Yelsina just sternly nod back, she'll also speak. She'll be like, we didn't even know Cabla was married until like a couple weeks ago. We asked him about you. He said that you're one of the sweetest person that he's ever known. And that was worth risking our lives to save you. You'll meet again. And I'll make sure Caleb meets his end of the promise.
And we fade to black. Now would be the point where the credits roll. And at the end of the credits, there's the sound of waves lapping on a beach. And complete black slowly lightens into a glistening beach, on which is the prone form of a large man. Kavlov, you pull yourself slowly to your feet and feel physically and spiritually exhausted, thinking over the insane experience that you've just had. You stand up and look around, up and down the coastline, and then inland, trying to recognize the lightning barrier of Duskwall, but you don't see it. You look around and you realize that this is the second time you've washed up on a beach without any idea where you are. And that's where we'll end the episode.
In the season.
End the season. Woo!
Oh my god!
Thank you so much for listening to Canticle of the Crimson Wake Season 1. And if you want to hear us all talk about how insane this is and our thoughts about it, please head over to our Patreon and support us so that you can get access to Blades After Dark, the after show. Thank you so much for listening, and good night, mortals.
Cue that music, baby!